up with no hands. Treat you like you monarchy.
Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni, chillin' with my homie. 耳元でそっと何か言ったの、ただここでそっと流す涙、離れても見ていてもあなたにほら照れていたの、だけど少しも夢見てなかった、この気持ちも夢見てなかった。
I was hanging with you and then I realized I didn't think it was true. I was surprised when I found out I'd fallen for you.
Let's kill this love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ram pa 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 pa. Let's kill this love. Ram pa 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 pa. We all commit to love that makes you cry. I could be.
This song's about when someone breaks up with you, but you can kind of see where they're coming from because you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with yourself either. It's fair enough, you can't handle me. I know I've got an overwhelming personality. I count my flaws each night instead of counting sheep. I'm not the type of person anybody wants to keep. So it's okay, you just fell out of love with me. I understand, I do the same thing every week. If I were you, I guess I'd leave too. So count yourself lucky you're not stuck in my shoes.
Sparkle, 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 sparkle. God bless the money count. For counting my blessings. Flawless perfection.
Thank you for not scrolling. I'm glad I caught your eye. Welcome to my small business. Please comment and say hi. If you like to shop small, well, you're in the right place. Thank you all for your support.
Demold a lipstick holder with me. The easy part. Pull. 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 Trying not to rip my mind. 5 minutes later. Yes, success. Trying to save my mold. I hope she loves it.
Of course, I start by taking the ink cartridge and placing it into the mold tip first, and then placing it on the nub at the end of the mold to hold it in place. I then mix some translucent glitter into pre-mixed resin in order to give it just a little bit of sparkle. I then slowly pour the resin in the mold to try and make sure there's as few bubbles as possible. Once the mold is mostly filled, in this case I filled it all the way, I take my finger and press the bubble out of the top of the mold. I found that happens quite a bit. Next, I take a popsicle stick dipped in resin in order to guide the flowers where I want them to go in the mold. I'll typically anchor the flowers under the ink cartridge in order to prevent them from floating to the top. For the most part, the popsicle stick works fine, but sometimes you have to use your fingers just a little bit. Once your flowers are placed where you would like them, you'll want to let the resin cure for at least 24 hours. Once I'm ready to demold, I'll typically start at the bottom so that way I don't rip the top of the mold. And that's your pen.
Don't want 'em. 3 months after I was born, my family moved into a different house in a new neighborhood. My mom told me that after we moved, even though I was just a baby, I started acting differently. She said that in the middle of the night, she'd hear me laughing, and she'd look at the baby camera monitor, and I'd be standing in my crib reaching out, as if there was someone in the room I was reaching for, but there was no one there. Once I got older and started talking, my mom told me that I would always talk about the man in the hat, and sometimes I would get upset and start crying and ask my mom where he was because I wanted to play with him. But my mom thought I just had an imaginary friend. But as I grew up, the man in the hat never went away. I kept talking about him. Eventually, my mom got worried and took me to a child psychologist when I was 5 years old. And I don't really remember it, but during the sessions, the psychologist would ask me questions about the man in the hat. But apparently, whenever she referred to him as my imaginary friend, I would get really angry and defiant and say he's not imaginary. And when she asked me what he was like, I was able to describe him in vivid detail. He wore a blue baseball hat and dark glasses at all times, a long-sleeve turtleneck, and pants. After 5 sessions, the psychologist concluded that I probably just had a really intense imagination, which is common for little kids. But the psychologist warned my mom that she should keep a close eye on it.
If you're scrolling right now and you see me, just say hi. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to like the post. But if you just say hi to me, it'll make my day better.